There's two main theories these days. The first is that the grid is a 2D snapshot of some kind of 5D space. The second is that the grid is describing some kind of cellular automaton to run, although nobody's yet found a specific one that does anything decodable or intelligible, even when run on the largest available computers. And then, one night, the stars begin to flicker again. Within about 128 bits, it becomes clear that the second grid is not the evolution of any of the cellular automata, but it does look like a snapshot of the same 5D space, slightly shifted. Now the physicists have a sample of how the objects change over time, and they set to work developing new theories of what would happen if they kept changing. Some scientists deliberately isolate themselves right away, producing predictions based on only the beginning of the second grid. And their predictions are pretty good. 10 years after that, the third grid arrives. The best second grid theories turn out to be missing some important pieces about second derivatives, the equivalent of acceleration, which you just can't predict from two snapshots in time. But overall, the old theories seem to be roughly right, and they're easy to update. And 10 years further still, with the fourth grid, it seems like the theories are more or less complete. The fifth grid looks almost exactly like it's predicted to. It's been 40 years. The bright young students challenged to make sense of the first grid are now aged teachers. There are fully grown adults who don't remember a world before the grids. And the children sometimes find it surprising that it was possible to work out so much from the first four grids, practically the entire physics of another universe from 4 images. How did people come up with all the maths? How is there even enough information to be that sure of a whole world's laws of reality? But the old folks explain, most of the maths was already there. Some of it because it was already needed for regular science, and some of it because half the time mathematicians think they're working on something totally theoretical, and a decade later it turns out they laid the foundations of computer science or quantum mechanics. As for the information, well, there is an upper limit on how much you can learn from limited information, but that upper limit is that every bit can at most halve your uncertainty. And even though in practice they weren't close to that limit, they got about 16 million bits. And they started from the assumption that whatever was going on with the data, it was governed by some kind of mathematical regularity. It would have patterns, and the patterns would tend to be simple, just like in our world. And that was enough. Just a planet of geniuses spending 4 decades looking for the simplest explanation of 16 million bits. And suddenly, it doesn't seem so crazy that the fifth grid was roughly what they expected. But what to do now? Let's put ourselves in their shoes. Maybe it's time to think bigger.